Good morning, class 6. Welcome back to our e-learning program. I am Anil Bhagat, your science teacher from Modern International School, Hiswa. Today, in this video lecture, we are going to revise chapter 11, that is light, shadows and reflections. In the previous lectures, we had finished all the topics of this chapter. Now today we are going to revise them one by one. We have to revise them one by one. So first of all, what is light? We discussed that light is a form of energy which gives us sensation of sight. If you stand in a dark room and try to see things, we are not able to see. But if we allow light to enter in the room, we are able to see different types of things. Even in a dark room, if a ray of light is allowed to enter from a corner of the room, we are able to see the dust particles because light fall on them and is scattered everywhere. So we are able to see the dust particles. The same way in the nature, we are able to see the different beautiful objects when we in the presence of sunlight or in the presence of any type of light. So this is what is light is. Now comes the next sources of light. So there are two sources of light, class. The first one is natural source of light, that is like sun. Sun is the best example of natural source of light. Moon also, but moon don't have its own light. It gets the light from the sun and then it will reflect it on the earth. So sun is a luminous object or a luminous body which have its own light and emit light. Moon is not a luminous body. It doesn't have its own light. It gets the light of the sun and only it will be reflected by the moon. So it is a non-luminous body. Now comes the next artificial source of light, like candle, torch, bulb. These are the artificial source of light that is made by man. And as I discussed, on the basis of emission of light, we can differentiate objects in two ways, that is luminous and non-luminous object. Now comes the third type of classification of second type of classification of object, that is there are some objects which allow light to pass through them. This type of objects are called transparent objects. They allow light to pass through them, like simple glass. Through glass we are able to see the objects behind the glass. Next comes the translucent object, the objects which allow light to pass through them but only partially, not wholly, not properly. So like frosted glass. So this glass allow light to pass through them but partially, not properly. Next comes a paper which is rubbed with a fat. We can say a fat contains food material. Like if you remember in the second chapter, we performed an experiment that we take some food which contains fat and rub a paper, and then we are able to see the light through the paper partially. So this is called translucent material. Next comes opaque substance. These substances do not allow light to pass through them, like our wall, door and our body. This will not allow light to pass through them. So from that comes the next topic, that is when an opaque object comes in the path of light, a dark patch is formed behind the object and that is called a shadow. And shadow gives us not the detailed information of the body but an outline structure of the body. So shadow, for the formation of shadow, we need a source of light, we need an opaque object and we need a screen. So these are the things we need for the formation of shadow. and the type of shadow or the shape of the shadow or the length of the shadow depend upon the angle of the source of light and the material. Like if you put a stick in the ground and if it is morning time, the shadow is long, but in the afternoon it will become short, and in the evening it will again become long, because the angle of the sun changes with morning, afternoon and evening timing. So shadow is a dark patch. Whatever the color of the object, it doesn't matter with shadow, but it is a dark patch. So from that comes the pinhole camera, that we take two boxes, cut one side of the boxes, and in the other side the small one, make a 5 to 6 centimeter hole, cut, and then put a transparent material over that 4-5 centimeter square place, and then make a hole in the one side of the box, the bigger one, the larger box, and try to put the smaller one inside the larger one. Then try to see the objects in light. Then try to adjust the smaller box inside the larger one, and you are able to see the image of an object onto the translucent material of that, or so this on translucent material or tracing paper was there. So on that you are able to see the image of the object, but the image is upside down, because light travels in a straight line. And how will we know that? To understand the traveling of light in a straight line, we need a pipe, a straight pipe and a vented pipe, and put a candle in a corner of your room and light it, and try to see the candle by the help of the straight pipe. So we are able to see the candle by the help of a straight pipe, but whenever you try to see the candle with a bent pipe, you are not able to see. So this proves that light travels in a straight line. So when light travels in a straight line, so from the small hole of the pinhole camera, the light traveling from the rays of light traveling from the top of the tree just comes on the translucent material and on the bottom side, and the light rays traveling from the lowest part of the stem or the trunk of the tree travel to the top position of the translucent material. So we will find a upside down object, image of an object. So now comes the next question: what is the difference between an image and shadow? But before that, we have to understand the mirrors and reflection. So mirrors is what? Mirrors, any polished surface is mirror, but the glass is, to form a mirror, we have to coat one side of the glass with a shiny material like silver, and then above of that a coating of paint. So this will form a mirror, and this mirror gives us the image of an object when you put an object in front of the mirror, or if you stand in front of the mirror. And there is a very amazing phenomenon that if you stand in front of the mirror and if you try to observe your image in the mirror, you will find that your left side become right side and your right side become left side in the image of the mirror. This is called lateral inversion. Side will change. So now comes the reflection. That is, when light falls on the mirror, it will take a path from the mirror in a angle, that is the incident ray and the reflected ray. So there are laws of reflection also. So These are the topics we had discussed in chapter 10, that is light, shadows and reflections. There are so many activities we had done to understand the reflection, to understand the pinhole camera, to understand shadows. I hope you are able to understand the different topics of this chapter. If any problem, ask me. I will help you class. Have a great day. Be safe at home. Thank you.